So during the winter months, a lot of my fishing is shorter sessions. I'm extremely busy with work at this time of the year, so lots of my short days or up to 24 hours. I try to go to venues with a good chance of a bite. I'm also here today at Bush Farm Fisheries, the Road Lake. It's got a good stock of fish in it, around 70 odd 20 pound fish in here, up to around 34, 35 pound. And they do like to feed in the winter months. We got here this morning, the wind was blowing extremely strong, 45 mph gusts, southwesterlies and a low pressure, so looks ideal for a bite. We've put 3 rods out on the far margin, the windward margin. In the summertime, there's a lot of pads over there and cabbage weed. This time of year it's dying down, but the fish seem to hold up in there. All baited with maggots and a bit of Maggot mix from Hooked On Baits. During the winter months, I don't get a lot of time to go fishing. A lot of my fishing is short sessions, days, up to 24 hours. Work is absolutely manic at this time of year, so I try to choose waters that give me a good chance of a bite. There's a lot of good fish in here, up to 28, 29 pounds, 70 odd fish, that sort of size. And the real prize fish in here is a fish called the cherry that goes up to mid-30s. And there's another fully scaled in here that's just creeping on the 30 pound mark. My approach for this session is using maggots in quite a large quantity. The reason being they're very, very digestible at this time of the year. They don't tend to clog the fish up, which means they'll feed a lot more and there's a lot more chances of a pickup. I use this approach a fair amount through the winter, and I like to mix it up with a bit of hemp seed and Maggie mix from Hooked On Baits. Again, it's nice and palatable, gives loads of attraction, and the fish seem to feed right through the winter on them products. What we're using today is normal combi linked hook links with around 15 to 16 maggots on a clip. Well, that didn't take too long. Just sitting there doing a bit of rig tying, and the middle rod's pulled up tight and we're into a carp. The bite was a typical slow take. What I try to do when I'm fishing with maggots is I fish locked up, so you only get a couple of bleeps. There is a reason behind this. Previously I've had the hook masked by maggots on the bottom and pulled out a fish where the hook hasn't penetrated. The fish has picked it up, moved off, and the hook hasn't penetrated. When you fish locked up, it pulls that hook through the maggot skin and hopefully into the carp's mouth. She's in the net. Lovely. That's 18 pounds. 18 pounds. We're away. So we was literally just photographing the first fish. I picked him up for the camera and the right hand rod's absolutely ripped off. And this one's powering down the far margin at the minute. They seem to like a maggot. So this fish has literally come right in under the tip, and as it's seen the near margin, it's absolutely took off out underneath the left hand rod. Lovely. So we have a lovely 18 pound mirror. This was the first fish that I caught whilst we was doing the photographs with this. The right hand rod's ripped off and we've managed to net that one, and then we've come back to finish this one. So here we have our second Bush Farm Road Lake carp, 22 pound exactly, put up a fantastic scrap, and these are just some of the smaller ones. The battle was absolutely epic. It stripped loads of line off on the take, come right into the edge and then powered back off under the other rods a good 2 or 3 times. It's a good nice 10-minute scrap before it was in the net. Fantastic winter fishing. Maggots in general are a natural product. One of the main things they find attractive is the organic acids that they give off, and they just seem to get a bite when nothing else will. One of the rigs I have most confidence in when using maggots consists of the soft coated hook link. Today I'm using the green in 25 pound. I also use the curved shank hooks, generally in a size 6. I fish these blowback style with a ring sliding on the shank and a maggot clip tied to the end. These are generally fished 9 inches long, so that they lay out nicely off of the boat as they go down. The soft coated hook link behaves very naturally on the bottom when presented amongst free offerings. The maggots have movement around on the bottom close to the hook baits. The reason why I use a maggot clip is number one, for ease of use. It's nice and easy to get the maggots on the clip, no need for a needle and thread and time consuming. Also, it enables you to give a big bunch of maggots on one area of the clip, and it's easy for the carp to suck up in the mouth, and you can get away with using bigger hooks as well. Knowing that the carp are living over in the cabbages and the reed beds on the far margin, and it's a very shallow area, only 4 to 5 feet, I've decided to use a bait boat today for minimal disturbance, getting the maggots over there and the hook baits. Usually I would choose to spod maggots over, but I wanted to keep it very quiet because they are living in there and it's easy to spook them out or put them on edge. They will stay out now until I get a bite, till tomorrow morning at the very least. What I may well do is run a boat back over there with more maggots just to top up the area in case any rudd have been on the spot and nailed any of the maggots that are in place. I like to keep it nice and quiet over there because the fish are living over there, so any disturbance that is an extra, but running the boat out and just dropping a few maggots is never going to be a problem. Generally, I would put 2 to 3 gallon out straight away over 3 rods. I think a lot of people make the mistake of using tiny little bags of maggots and leaving them there for too long. A lot of the time the silverfish will come in and wipe out the 70, 80 maggots that will be in a little PVA bag. The method's only really good when you may be casting around every 2 to 3 hours, searching out where the fish are. If you're laying an area out where you know the fish are frequenting and you want to put a good amount in, I'd go for at least 2 or 3 gallons. That way you feed off the smaller fish and you're left with some maggot on the bottom. So I was literally just getting the 2 rods out from the takes earlier on, and the last rod of the 3 that was originally out has absolutely ripped off. So the hooks I'm using is the size 6 curve shank hooks. I've been using them all season up on my syndicate at Wellington Country Park, all through my matches that I've been fishing through the winter period, and I've got utmost confidence in them. They stay sharp for a long time and they go in and they stay in. So that's the 3rd one in the net. It's an old friend, I had it last year. It's a linear, about 24 pounds. So it'd be interesting to see how it's grown. Excellent. So we have the 3rd fish of the session, and what a cracker it is. The linear at 27.5 pounds. I had this fish last winter at 24.5, so it's really grown well over this past season. And as you can see, it's in cracking condition. These Bush Farm Road Lake fish are unbelievable. So we're using the RM Tech soft coated hook link in 25 pound green, fishing with the size 6 curve shank hooks with a maggot clip and 15 maggots. So this is absolutely hectic. We've just had the 4th take, just starting to get the last rod ready from the last fish, and the one we put out no more than 20 minutes ago was gone. So really, really good winter action at Bush Farm. Lovely, number 4. So here we have the 4th fish of the trip, a 22 pound common. Absolute carnage here this afternoon, struggling to keep a rod in the water. GP Fisheries have done an absolutely blinding job of here, and with fish like this, can't wait to get the rods back in for another one. Had 4 fish now, up to 27.5 pound linear, absolutely beautiful carp. All 4 fish have been fantastic. It's a true testament to the Road Lake stocking. I'm going to get into the evening now, put some rods out, get them on the spots for the night and see what tomorrow brings. We're now into Friday morning. Had some success overnight, had 2 fish. Most of them came between 7:30 and 10:30 last night. Last night when we had the bites, the left-hand rod was the one that went first. We put the hemp and the maggots in there as normal, but we'd added some mainline stick mix just to add some more attraction overnight. That one went out about 7:30. I left it in the rod rest. I didn't put it back out. I wanted to get some kip, so I was just going to reel them in as they go. About 10:30, I had another take on the middle rod. That was another fish of around 18.5 pounds. And again, I didn't recast it. The maggots bring a live aspect to the baiting situation, and that really helps to get the fish in and feeding, along with the hemp seed that's easily digestible and the oils that it brings off. This is something I'm sure if you employ into your own angling throughout the winter months will get you more results and more bites.